Hello my fellow Hetalians and welcome back to Hetafacts. Due to the recent drama, I hit 17,000 subscribers, so I guess that means I'll do another top 10. Last time it was the top 10 favorite designs, now it's the top 10 least favorite designs, and again, I'm rating these based on how pleasing I find the design, how unique they are, and how well it suits the country that they represent. I am only going off of physical appearance only. Also, these are my opinions. Okay, let's start. But Colco, we all know that Picardy is going to be number 1. I know you know that, so I've decided to take him out of the running. It would be way too predictable. Besides, Picardy does have the worst design ever. We have the unexplained cat ears and tail, and without them he looks like the plainest character ever. Plainer even than Spain. Also, it is not 100% confirmed that this is actually Picardy. So this character technically has the number 1 or number 0 spot, but I like to pretend he doesn't exist, and until we know this is really Picardy, he's going to stay here. So here are my top 10 least favorite Hetalia designs. That coming in as an honorable mention is Mr. I'm so serious but my hair is longer than Poland's. But maybe Lithuania is so busy he's just unkempt and doesn't have time to cut his hair. Or maybe he wants to live in the past with his 17th century haircut. Cool, that's fine, but that doesn't change the fact that... Also at an honorable mention is Mr. I share the same haircut with my Yamoto. Let's talk about the long hair and when it is a good idea and when it is not. It works for someone obsessed with fashion like France. It works with Hong Kong since he's an edgy teenager. But for serious characters like Lithuania and Switzerland, this hairstyle doesn't make any sense. As fun and aesthetically pleasing Lithuania's hair is, and I really like his hair, but someone as serious as Lithuania would probably want to be clean cut and shaven, and Switzerland wouldn't let something like his hair get in the way of defending his home. Since it is only the hair that irks me, these two are in honorable mentions. I think that both of these characters would just be happier with a shorter haircut. Number 10. Iceland. I get that there's only a limited number of hair and eye colors that exist in the world, but some of these characters are really starting to look the same. Take a look at Iceland and Finland. Iceland has lighter hair, sure, but without color or in a cosplay, it's hard to tell who he is. At least Finland has a hat most of the time. Iceland just looks so bland and generic. But seriously, look how similar they are in the Christmas special. The same thing goes for Norway and Iceland. If you remove Norway's clip and curl, I have no way to tell the difference between the two. But it's those little accessories that makes Norway unique. You gave Iceland and Finland pretty much nothing. If it gets to the point where I have to ask a Nordic cosplayer who they are cosplaying, then it's a problem and all your characters are starting to look the same. And Sweden and Estonia share this problem too, but only when it comes to cosplay. Whenever I see Iceland art, I have to double check to see if it is indeed Iceland. And that is the main issue here. Number 9. China. We have this country that is 4,000 years old and claims to be the oldest country in the world. It has history and traditions that go back thousands of years. How should we personify this character? I know, let's make him look 19! Though his character profile states that his appearance will make you say that he's an old man or a hermit or something, he doesn't look very old at all. And not to mention, this is the character most commonly mistaken as a female. And it doesn't help that you made him be voiced by a woman in both the sub and the dub. Number 8. Moldova. Moldova is so young. Why is he a child? And he isn't wearing any pants. Rage. But Moldova's adorable, so I'm not going to rank him that high. Besides his age, it sort of makes sense as it's kind of a new country and was created very recently. The Moldovan identity is rather new. But please give him some pants. I mean, he can afford a tiny hat, but he can't afford pants? What? Number 7. Seychelles. I appreciate the personification of this country. I mean, I wouldn't have known just how awesome this country was without Hetalia, but why the pigtails? Why? Well, at least they aren't twin tails, but I guess Hema doesn't really know how hair textures work and how to draw them. And while her skin tone is fixed now, it still probably should be darker, but the Seychelles people are a mix of everything, so who am I to judge the skin color and hair texture? The big picture is that this character looks more Japanese than Seychelles, even with the new skin tone. Number 6. Oh, you thought Latvia and Moldova's ages were bad. I have something worse. Okay, so we have one of the oldest nations in the world, like thousands of years old. Some say 4,000 to 6,000. A nation that has been oppressed by others for centuries and has been caught in the middle of so many wars and has to fight on its own. So, how should we personify this character? Oh, I know. Let's make him this cheery, lively, 15 to 16-year-old. I'm done. I'm done. Nations' ages make no sense. Number 5. Sweden. I've already discussed this in my first ever top 10. I think that Sweden and Finland should swap character designs. Except for the Santa thing, you can leave that with the new Finland. But I think Sweden should look more friendly, and I don't think that the scary outer appearance and the intimidating aura suits the country of Sweden. The only thing intimidating about the country of Sweden is IKEA. And maybe during Eurovision. And without this uniform, he looks pretty generic. Do you know how many times I have been confused for Sweden while cosplaying Estonia? In art, he's easy to distinguish, so this isn't that big of a problem. But I don't have as much of a problem with Sweden as I do with number 4. Finland. Finland's design irks me much more than Sweden's. First of all, why are you so small? I already discussed how tiny Finland is in my heights video and how it doesn't make any sense. He's only 170 centimeters. I'm sorry, what? Oh, I'm sorry. It seems that I have been mistaken. I was wrong. Finland is not 170 centimeters. He is 170 centimeters with his hat on. He is actually slightly shorter than that. Second is the unrealistic purple eyes, and you know how I feel about this. Third is the lack of beard. I mean, Finns are known for having glorious beards. He's supposed to be Santa for f***'s sake. And yet Finland's face is totally clear. Well, at least we know he has the ability to grow a beard, so that is at least reassuring. Fourth is looking incredibly generic and looking so similar to Iceland. He shares the problem with Iceland, where if he isn't in his uniform or dressed as Santa, I have no idea who he is. I mean, we need more to distinguish between Finland and Iceland. I mean, they both look so generic. I mean, you could have given one a weird hairstyle, you could have given one a scar. I mean, why do they look so similar? You could have given him a curl, you could have given one a birthmark, something to distinguish them so that they don't look totally similar. Hema may have fixed the personality of Finland, but there are just so many things about Finland's design that irk me. But all will be forgiven if Finland gets a beard. Number 3. Why is Latvia so tiny? Latvians are some of the tallest people in the world. Why is he so short? Why is he so young? Why are his eyes purple? Rage. Rage. Number 2. Spain. You all saw this coming. This is probably the most plain-looking character in the series. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad he's not blonde, but he just looks so plain. I would not be able to distinguish him between literally any other anime character without context or other characters around him. You could have given Spain something so that he doesn't look exactly like Aizu and a bunch of other characters in your own series. Don't get me wrong, Finland and Iceland also have this problem, but Spain is the most popular and most generic of the 3. And most important plot-wise, let's be honest, unless he has a tomato or is around other characters, it is impossible to tell who this character is in any fan work. Number 1! I often complain a lot about generic designs in Hetalia and how they don't stand out. Generic characters can tend to look like one another if you're not careful. However, this can be expected in a series that takes a realistic approach to its designs. There are only a number of combinations that you can use, so you have to use things like curls, birthmarks, scars, etc. to make your characters unique. However, by choosing to do this, you also limit yourself on how unrealistic your designs can be. And over-designing a character can become a problem. And a perfect example of over-designing a character is Kugel Mugel. I normally like the Micronations designs because they are unique and they are creative and colorful and they stand out from the other military uniforms, but this is a bit extreme. This is just way too much. Just, what am I looking at here? What am I looking at? You have an unrealistic hair and eye color. I mean, the only other person with white hair in the series is Prussia, and then there's the enraging purple eyes, but why does he have white hair? I know it was changed to be blonde in the anime, and that's kind of better, but why it's really white. I don't see a reason for him to have white hair, and there's no way that his hair should be this long. His hair is ridiculously long, especially for someone who is around 10. Then you have the ridiculous clothes, which is understandable due to him being an artist, but still. Then you have the hat, the ahoge, and the mole, and it's just all so much. There's so much going on here. Can we give some of his features to other characters, please? I mean, he looks like he belongs in an isekai. Sure, this would work in something like a fantasy series, but in a series when the majority of the characters actually look realistic, wearing mostly accurate military uniforms, in a series based on history, you can really over-design a character to the point where it just doesn't fit in the series. When I am having arguments with fans that this is a boy, yes, Kugel Mugel is a boy, this has gone too far. Heck, if you made him part marine animal, he would fit perfectly in Merman in my bathtub. This is trap bait. This is Shota trap bait. I like how you kept the ahoge and the mole and stuff as a tie to Austria, but all this is just too much. This is the one time in Hetalia where a character is over-designed. I get that he's a micronation, so it isn't all that important, but out of all the designs I have seen in the series, I am going to draw the line at Shota trap bait. No more Boku no Pico. No Boku no Pico in Hetalia. And that was 1 mark higher on your history test. Thank you for watching Hetafacts.